Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. All right, is everybody ready? Yeah. Okay. All right, I'll go over this brief prepared statement, then we'll take a few questions. On December 18, 2017, at approximately 9:30 p.m., officers responded to a shooting at 3084 Yale Avenue. Upon arriving on the scene, officers located victim number 1, male, 47, who had been shot multiple times while sitting in his vehicle. The victim was transported to Regional 1 Hospital in critical condition. Officers also located a second victim, male, 55, who was the passenger in the vehicle. Victim number 2 advised that he and victim number 1 were sitting in a van when they were approached by 3 male black suspects. The suspects attempted to rob the victims, at which time victim number 1 refused to comply. The suspects then fired several shots toward the victims, striking victim number 1 multiple times. Victim number 2 was not injured. Officers provided a broadcast to the additional officers responding with the suspects' descriptions. They attempted to locate any and all video surveillance and spoke with several witnesses attempting to gather additional details. Officers also canvassed the area. However, the suspects were not located. Investigators attempted to conduct several follow-up interviews with victim number 1, the driver of the van, but due to his injuries, investigators were unable to speak with him until January 22nd of 2018, the day before he was released from the hospital. Once investigators were able to speak with victim number 1, he only advised that he and victim number 2 were in the vehicle when the shooting occurred. Investigators attempted to locate vehicle number 2 with no success. On February 5th, 2018, at approximately 2 p.m., victim number 1 reported to the storage lot at 4465 Clink to retrieve his van that was towed from the crime scene. Upon releasing the victim's van, it was found that a deceased, unidentified male Hispanic was located in the rear of the van. Upon further investigation, it was found that the unknown male suffered from an apparent gunshot wound. The preliminary investigation revealed that the deceased male was sitting in the rear of victim number one's van when the original shooting occurred during the attempted robbery on December 18, 2017. It is believed that one of the shots fired by the suspect fatally wounded the victim. The victim has not yet been positively identified. Once a positive identification has been made and the next of kin has been notified, we will release the victim's name. Although the cargo van was overly stocked with equipment, there is no explanation as to how the deceased victim remained in the vehicle without being detected, or why officers on the scene, or why investigators were never advised that there was a third victim involved in this incident. After the deceased victim was located, the Homicide Bureau, members of my command staff, and our Inspectional Services Bureau were immediately notified and made the scene. As always, our dedicated homicide investigators will leave no stone unturned and will do their very best to bring justice to these victims and their families. An internal investigation has been opened, and I can assure you I will get the answers as to why we failed to locate the victim inside the vehicle prior to yesterday. I expect a thorough investigation to be conducted on all scenes. The victims deserve better. The family members of the victims deserve better. And our citizens deserve better. To this end, I have ordered a comprehensive review by my commanders of our current policies. Any and all policies or common practices that may have allowed this to occur will be reviewed. This incident is unacceptable and should never have happened. I want to ensure that our internal investigation will be thorough. And if it is found that a policy was violated, corrective action or disciplinary action will be taken. With that being said, we cannot lose focus on this homicide investigation. Our homicide investigators are working diligently to gather additional details that may assist in identifying those responsible for this senseless crime. If anyone saw anything during the night of December 18 at 3084 Yale, they are urged to come forward and call Crime Stoppers at 901-528-CASH. It is anonymous, and if information is provided that assists us in making an arrest in connection with this case, the person who provides the information can receive up to $1,000. The suspects. All three suspects are described as male blacks. However, at this point, we have only a detailed description on one of the three suspects. The shooter is described as a black male, early 20s, 5'8", thin build, approximately 130 pounds, clean shaven, and at the time of the incident was wearing a black hat. Again, anyone who may have details concerning this case, call Crime Stoppers at 901-528-CASH. I will now take a few questions.
Hey, Director,
how did this get past the actual impound lot? Do they have policies of checking the car, making sure no one's inside the car? Talk a little bit about that.
Great question. That is part of the investigation, and as I said earlier, I assure you we will get to the bottom of it. We'll make sure we determine all the facts and hold individuals accountable for actions they took or actions they did not take.
Are there any staff members currently on paid administrative leave during this investigation?
Not at this time.
Secretary Joe Fox routine. When I asked you, I just got done talking with the victim. He said he told your investigators inside Regional 1 that there were 3 people in that car. That directly contradicts what you just said.
So that is also part of the investigation, but the preliminary information that we have from reviewing his statements, body-worn camera footage, contradict that and say that that was not the case.
Where was the gunshot wound on that victim found in the back seat? Could he have potentially survived if your officers had noticed him the day of?
Great question. So we're waiting on the results of the autopsy from the medical examiner's office. Until we have those results, I cannot tell you one way or the other.
Do any of the notes detail the what was in the van, if it was a lot of stuff or what type of stuff was in there, if it was easy to overlook something like that if you weren't looking closely?
Again, I'm not going to make a comment on if it was easy to overlook. I don't have the answers. There was a lot of items in the van. However, I just can't explain how this victim stayed in a van and we did not locate it until the victim showed up to recover the van.
So point blank, was there a lapse in policy?
Again, that is why we're conducting a thorough investigation. I think it's premature to say one way or the other. I will say that there's a lot of questions that I just don't have answers for, and you could probably see that I am visibly upset about this situation, and I will reassure the victim's family, the victim, and the public that we will get to the bottom of this, and we will report the facts and let you know as the investigation concludes.
Dr. Rollins, under any circumstance, whose job would it be to search the van?
That will be part of the investigation. Again, I don't want to get too far in front of this and say without having all the facts, but that is the purpose of a thorough investigation.
But in standard
I
protocol,
know you have some people with homicide here. How much evidence is lost after a month when somebody's just sitting there?
You know, that's hard to say. So we have some of the best homicide investigators in the nation. We'll review everything from the initial call to the end of the investigation and make sure that we're using best practices. So again, that's a question I'd rather save to after we have all the facts.
When you talk about a decomposing body being left in there for about a month, obviously that comes with a smell. Do you think something like that could have alerted someone at the impound lot that something may be inside this vehicle that needs to be looked into further?
So we're interviewing everyone that had involvement. I personally did not make the scene, but I think I can say that amazingly that I think due to the cold weather that the body was in amazingly well preserved. So I don't know that, but that will be part of the investigation.
One more question.
Are all three victims immigrants from Mexico? Is that accurate?
I don't know that at this
You
time.
mentioned your anger right now, Director. How are you feeling? I mean, this is a mistake that should not have happened. How are you feeling right now? How's your command staff feeling?
Well, I think we're all upset. We want to deliver the service that our citizens deserve, and I can't say that we did that on this situation, and it's unacceptable. And that's why we will make sure that we turn over every stone, every rock, shake every tree, so we determine the facts. And again, it's unacceptable.
First time to your knowledge that this has ever happened?
I don't know. I mean, I think that there have been situations where there are a number, every scenario is so different. Sometimes vehicles are going to be processed at the lot, and people don't go in those vehicles. So again, but we can review, our recent practices, but I don't recall at this time.
Have you
Thank you.
determined the number